Let me start off this story by saying that ever since I was 8, I had a habit of watching Cartoon Network for long stretches of time, especially on those weekends where I had no homework or projects to occupy myself with. At the time, the channel never failed to amaze me with shows like Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends or codename Kids Next Door. Even a decade after that, there are some more recent cartoons that I fell in love with, such as Unikitty. Never mind stuff like Cartoon Network's live-action shows or their preschool block Cartoonito. I still see a lot of good in their programming. That being said, there was one incident involving that network that sort of ruined my childhood. Here's my story. It was June 15th, 2023, after the transition from Cartoonito to Cartoon Network. I couldn't wait to see what cartoons were on the horizon. For a few hours, the day's offerings looked to be pretty stark. Some new episodes of Teen Titans Go, a few reruns of Craig of the Creek and We Bare Bears from time to time, etc. But at exactly 1:46 p.m., the feed suddenly cut out, so I had to sit there on the couch with a bunch of spaghetti in my stomach, looking at a pitch-black screen. I was so mad, I could just throw the TV remote into a garbage can. But I couldn't help but miss that something fishy was going on, since I could hear snippets of audio from some of my childhood shows playing in the background. 10 minutes later, the screen cut to a shot of a locker, the same kind you see in school hallways, drawn in a completely unusual style. It didn't really remind me of anything, but it looked pretty cutesy and colorful. Adding to the weird atmosphere was the silence that persisted throughout, which was drowned out occasionally by the sound of something hitting against metal. And then I heard something.
Hey, is there something in my locker?
I don't know where that feminine voice came from, and yet it felt very off-putting. A brown-haired girl in a Japanese schoolgirl uniform walked up to the locker and tried to open it, which would lead to something absolutely gross. She was suddenly grabbed by a slimy tentacle that would have belonged to an alien and not a squid or octopus.
Ah, crap.
The tentacle swept her limp body into the metallic box, with the door slamming shut as it happened. The tentacle started hitting against the door again, only this time there was an additional level of freakiness as the girl kept groaning in pain, implying that she was being attacked by a monster. As the intro to Aerosmith's Sweet Emotion started to kick in, the painful screaming had turned into a marathon of panting and moaning. Oh yuck, I thought, why is that thing? How am I gonna put this politely? Grappling her. And what the hell does Aerosmith have to do with this? This is Cartoon Network, not a raunchy hentai. I ran to the bathroom and vomited into the toilet bowl. You heard me right. I was so disgusted. I had to lose my lunch. It was absolutely miserable. Oh, what a sweet emotion. As the background music faded out, I glanced back at the TV screen, where the locker door swung open, revealing what I believe was meant to be the creatures inside. The poor girl was now lying on the floor, face up, with a look of sheer exhaustion on her face, still blushing, drooling from her mouth, giggling, and finally, it stopped, followed by a technical difficulty screen. How my childhood TV channel would be hijacked like this, nobody will ever know. Well, maybe except the perpetrator. Once I made a post regarding my experience on Reddit. Multiple users would share some interesting comments, saying that they also witnessed this exact same broadcast. Apparently, the perp must have been inspired by some weird internet trend from 2019. Give or take a year, but the question is, whose idea was this, and if so, why?